You finally do it. You've done the research, you did the work, you booked the cruise, and you arrive. And then, of course, there's things you like and there's things you don't. So, come on, let's talk about it.
Walk, keep on walking straight, straight to the hell we made. Why always a wall, babe, when we wanna come closer? Don't tell a million lies. Kill that.
So, let's talk about one of my recent cruises, which is on the Carnival Sunshine. One of the places that I loved was the atrium. When you first walk in, the atrium was so beautiful. It had the sun and it looked like it's a bunch of planets, these silver balls that are hanging, and it is just beautiful. I spent a lot of days on the ship just sitting in the atrium, having a drink and enjoying the atmosphere of the atrium. It was very beautiful. My next thing that I really, really loved was the Havana bar. Oh my God. I think that Carnival Sunshine has one of the best Havana bars that you could ever, ever, ever step foot into. It had these two separate areas between the bar area in the middle, and then GG Kitchen, which is fantastic. Anybody who's been on Carnival, they love GG Kitchen. I haven't had anybody ever say anything bad. Then on the other side, you had Cucina del Capitano, and you can kind of just sit down at all these multiple places that surround the bar and just sit there and talk or read a book, or I've seen people playing cards. And so that Havana bar was definitely a great area. I think it's one of the best Havana bars on any of the ships. The next area that I loved was the Serenity area. Serenity was, oh my God, so great. The Serenity area had uh, a pool that actually everything sat in the middle of the ship. So usually where you go on Serenity, and Serenity is either in the front of the ship where it's too much wind, or it's in the back of the ship where there's no wind at all. This Serenity was the best. It just sat in the middle. You could look over into the Lido deck. You could then in turn get into the cold pool that was just kind of like a waterfall flowing. And it was just fantastic. I actually think that Carnival Sunshine has one of the best setups for Serenity I've ever seen on any of their ships. The next thing that I really didn't care for was the Lido Buffet. The Lido Buffet was not a mirrored Lido Buffet. And when I say mirrored, it's usually two sides that you can go on that look exactly the same, that carries the same food, the same setup, same design. You just walk straight through. This left the whole area so congested because it was just one place for everybody to run into. And I just wasn't happy about that. It was just really way too many people for me. I didn't really eat in the Lido buffet. I would just go ahead and get a burger, or either blue iguana, and get me a burrito. I really stayed away from the Lido because of that, and I just think that's probably one of the not so great things that is about the sunshine. One of the other things I didn't like about the sunshine was I didn't care for my room. Now it's a two-part there. I like the style of the room. We had a premium room, a balcony, and it was 8322. I researched the room before I got it. It was like almost like it was a wheelchair accessible room, but it wasn't a wheelchair accessible room. It was a premium room. So much space. It was really a lot of space, and it had an extended balcony as well. The problem that I think I had with the room was that it showed its age. When I was in the room, there was a part where you have the latch for the balcony door, and the latch part that you grab wasn't there. It was a nail. And so that was really interesting. I had never seen that on a carnival ship since I've been cruising. And I've had a couple of cruises that I've been on with them. And so when you went outside to the Lido deck, I mean, until the balcony, you could see it was old, it was rusted, it was very, very noticeable. And so that was very interesting for me to see because I hadn't seen that before on a carnival ship, that that it had showed its age. One thing about the bathroom that I did not like, it had a smell. It wasn't horrible where you couldn't stand it, but it was a smell in there. And so I usually bring these plug-ins normally, and I was able to put the plug-in in, and that went over the smell. But prior to this, the bathroom had a smell, and I wasn't really happy with the way that was going. And then the last issue with the room was, I didn't know, and maybe as much as I cruised, I never thought about asking. It's never a conversation that's discussed. Carnival stated to me that the room does not have heat. And so I thought that the room had heat. The room was very cold. At that time, it was just a very cold sailing, and it wasn't warm at all. And the room to me was freezing. And so, I had asked about the heat because it didn't feel like it was coming on. And Carnival told me that, ships don't have heat. And I thought that was interesting to me because I had never heard that before. And so, again, even though I have been selling for a while, that was the first time I learned something new, that the ships really don't have heat, or either, i.e., that's what they told me. And I did say something to customer service. Customer service actually had somebody call me a little while after I had got off the ship to discuss it. And so I kind of really appreciated that about Carnival, because they did reach out. They did ask me, was I okay and how did I feel? And they're kind of sorry about it. And so that was a plus for Carnival, that they actually reached out to me and we were able to talk about the room, and that I found out that the rooms don't have heat. So those are my couple of things that are good about Carnival Sunshine and not so great about Carnival Sunshine. The question somebody asked me, would I sail her again? Absolutely not. There's many other ships that I've been on that I really love, and Carnival Sunshine would be a ship that I would probably never sail on again. That's just my personal opinion about it. I like Carnival as a brand. That would just be one of the ships that I would just never decide to rebook. So thank you for sitting here listening to me and my first actual video for the Love of Cruise, and be on the lookout for more content. All right, thank you. Bye.